This is the place to be, and the place to be is the Mac Attack Show. With a little hip and a lot of hop, the Mac Attack is about to drop another great show on you. Sit back, relax, and let the dialogue fill your thirsty mind and enrich your passionate soul. I am Clyde Dowdy Jr., aka Cool Mac, the VPAD for Bowie State University, and I am joined by the lovely co-host, the highly engaged one, Jackie J. Mac McWilliams, the commissioner of the CIAA. The Mac is an uptown, downtown, crosstown stroll inside and outside of the resilient CIAA. J Mac, who do we got on the show today?
Good to see you, Cool Mac. You know what's real funny is we got three women on here that do our jobs, and we get to do theirs today. So I'm real excited that we have Jolisa Williams from Shaw University, also the president of our CIAA SIDA. And we got Oralia Washington from Johnson C. Smith University. She's the vice president. And we've got Romanda Noble-Watson from Claflin University, who's the SIDA secretary. So they have taken over CIAA. Like, I'm excited. I'm really excited. It's about time. It's about time.
Yo,
ladies.
Take that down a notch on the depth chart there, lady.
I know, I got real excited for the moment. So welcome, ladies, to the show. I know you guys have heard about us. You've helped us get people from your campuses on our show. And it's truly a pleasure to have the three of you here with Clyde, Cool Mac, and myself as we just have a good and relaxed time and just celebrate you for your successes.
Hey, Jackie, let me jump in here real quick because a lot of people don't understand what sports information is all about and how involved it is with what these ladies do. So could all of y'all tell us a little bit about the background of sports information? It's beyond just taking numbers and things of that nature. So hit us with some knowledge here.
I'll let the OG speak.
Oh, who would that be? I'm not going to say who would that be.
Romanda, that is like an honor, girl.
Oh, wow.
Yes. Yes. I love it. That's the respect and love.
Wow. Thank you. I love them too. These are like two of my faves. So I'm sorry. Whoever's watching, these are two of my faves. I mean, I have to put it out there. So I guess I'm the OG, and I'm going to go with that for now. But pretty much sports information, we are and I like to tell people because they never know what sports information is. So I always say we're the media relations arm for athletics. So everything athletics, we are it. We're the ones who get the word out. We're the ones who publicize our student athletes. We're the ones who write those feature stories, keeping the website maintained. We're the ones who the media call something good, especially something bad. They're gonna call us, and we make it work. We're the game operations managers. We're the psychologists for some of our student athletes. We're the moms for some of our student athletes. I mean, sports information as an entity, and now social media has become part of our task as well. So we're the ones who try to make sure that people know who our student athletes and our departments are. I think I summed it up good.
You did, Romanda. One thing I didn't hear you guys say that you do that most of us can't do is stats.
Oh yeah, and you know what? I often leave that out. People say why? I said because most of the time that's all they think that we do. The statistics, while it is an important part of what we do, it's not all we do. And not always, and I just forgot because I think I heard somebody say the numbers, but that's like probably the smallest piece of our job. We're the ones who keep those numbers. So when you want to know how many touchdowns somebody has, they'll go on the website. If they don't see it on the website, well, not me, because I don't have football, but they're going to call the sports information offices and find out, how many touchdowns did my son have or how many touchdowns did my brother have. So, but statistics, just for everyone who's listening, that is probably the smallest piece of our job that we have to do on game day.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And I'm glad the computer tallies those touchdowns and rushing yards. So I'm grateful for the computer and all that stuff. For statistics.
Because back in the day, that stuff was manual. Yeah. And it was being fast. Yeah.
Imagine doing volleyball on a long 11 by 17 piece of paper for some of you all. I don't know how many sports information directors who are watching this understand, but that long piece of paper covering 2 courts is not easy. So I think that Joe, you came in when there was a computer for volleyball. Ray, I don't know how close you came in with the computer.
I came in with his remember CompuServe. I had to take the CompuServe, and then I had to switch over to Stat Crew. So I had to basically learn both software.
Okay, well, I came in and I had to do everything by hand. So there we have.
Yeah,
but it was fun.
You are truly OG today.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, she is. So, just out of all the stuff that you all do, plus more, there are things that you didn't even mention that you do. But I'm interested, what do you love most about your job? Because I always say sports information, the medical area, and compliance are probably the three positions that you just have to have in your athletic departments. And you're most thought of when things happen, right? But essentially, you keep the games, you keep us flowing in our department. So, what is it about your positions that keeps you in it, and what do you enjoy most about it?
Madam President?
Okay, well, I'll say for me, I enjoy like the whole setup as far as game day operations. Like that's probably like one of my favorite things to do, especially since I've been here at Shaw. I have a little story, and so Dr. Carter, our former athletic director, that was our thing. So for basketball games, I would get the big system set up. We would play music and we would just start setting up our game. That was like our favorite thing to do before we had an athletic event, especially a basketball game or volleyball game. And that's how we kind of bonded. And, I would get my student workers to help me out. It would just be kind of like a little party before we actually get to working. And I think that for me, that was like one of my favorite things to do as far as sports information is concerned, is that whole setup, like just getting that good vibe before we got to get to go.
Jolisa, I watched your takeover, when we were doing the takeovers for the CIAA and you was getting ready for a game. I mean, you were just like, we're about to get ready for this game, and the next thing we're about to do, and you just had the whole game. So I kept watching it until you got to the start of the game. So I can tell that you enjoy that part just by your takeover.
Yeah. It is so fun, y'all.
Oralia, how about you?
Well, what gets me excited, I still try to get with the kids, the generation of it. You still have to get with the music. Even though I still like, can y'all play Biggie Smalls or Tupac or something? But you still got the music.
Right.
Shows and everything. I'm like, okay, well, but still, I'm like, I have to listen to Big Sean. I was like, okay, I kind of like this music with Big Sean and everything. But still got to get along with what they hear and what they listen to and everything, because you have to listen to the music that they get hyped with and everything. And it's a new generation that you keep along with and everything. So I just like to get to know the new generation with the student athletes that we have.
And there's no better way to connect with them through their music, right?
Through their music.
Food and music. Food and music.
Yeah.
Food and music.
And I don't even know what comes first anymore. I think they put the food down.
I agree.
They do.
I agree.
So, Romanda, you talk about the social media, and it's such a major factor in our lives right now from a plus and a minus perspective.
Right.
As we're experiencing right now with this recent announcement by the CIAA. Ladies, could you just tell me the involvement of social media and the impact? Because it's really so involved in everything we do now strategically, how we even think about next initiatives, how it's going to impact us with the social media.
Oralia talked about connecting with the new generation, and they are my lifeline when it comes to social media. Because of the way I was brought through the ranks of sports information, I came through with a lot of gentlemen, the what I call the man's world, and they gave me the hardcore of the hardcore sports information. So social media is really new for me, even in my personal life. I'm not a big social media person. So my student interns, they're huge for me when it comes to social media. So that's how I integrate it, and they're teaching me. And that's why I like to tell people you can always learn. There's always room for growth. So they're teaching me how to operate with social media, but it is an integral part because that's one of the first things the younger generation is going to go to. Back in the day, it was the media guys to see who's from their hometown, to see this and the third. Now they want to see on social media who signed. Oh, is my cousin going there? Then I'm going to go ahead and go. So social media, while I don't want to say it's a driving force, it's an integral force of college athletics as it is today. So it's important to know how to engage with the students and the fans. A lot of the fans say, well, I didn't see it on social media, so it must not be true. But you try to let them know that everything you see on social media isn't true.
Isn't true.
So, I think it's important to incorporate it as a collective entity.
Mm-hmm.
Ladies, other ones, any guys chime in?
I think I would have to agree with Romanda. I think when I first started in sports information, social media was just on the come up. It was starting to get really, really popular where the sports information directors had to start updating it frequently. So when I got to Shaw, I think I'm more of a person that can relate more to. I like social media, so it's nothing. It's what I do on a daily basis. So it was nothing for me to update it as much as I would update the website or anything else that we have as far as athletics, promoting, whatever we have going on. It was just natural for me to make that transition, coming up in the sports information ranking.
Mhm. Aurelia, what do you find that's challenging right now? I mean, in this whole COVID-19, I think we're all trying to be as creative and stay relevant as possible. From the conference, I know our office is working with you all. We're asking for ideas, but what's been challenging, and how do we continue to move things in a way where people see your institutions and there's visibility when right now we're still in a standstill?
Basically content right now, even though there's no sports going on. But what kind of keeps me busy, I know, it's basically historical facts. I want to go and basically find out, what's going on at John C. Smith, even though it's my second year. It's just little things I want to find out. Like, I didn't know, certain people played here at John C. Smith. So I try to go and, try to update, the points for basketball or the kills in volleyball or even the rushing yards. And that's something, even though we don't have anything to write on with sports, we could just go find, just find a leading rusher in a certain year or something, and just go find a old picture,
Mm-hmm.
40s or the 30s. So I think that's something, that even a sports information director that we can all do, or even find a student that's taking a mass comm class that's probably wants to do something internship, like, hey, just find something that's online for an old, like Smith had a baseball team back in the day, just find an old picture, so it's so fact for that. So that's something like we can really do.
I love that. I
Okay,
mean,
that's
I think
good.
I love that. I mean, the time, I mean, because there's still work to do. The historical stuff,
Yes.
just think about if we were in fall season, you wouldn't have a lot of time to try to collect all of that. So there's still a lot of work to do. So when we get to the other side, just think how many more stories there'll be. And then the other piece that I'd like you guys to chime in on this as well, is the seeds that you're planting by giving other students access. So as I've watched all of you kind of grow in this business, who gave you the opportunity that really allowed you to shine and love being in sports information, even if you don't love it, but you're still in it, but to grow in this business, but also the seeds that you're planting to make sure that there are more women and people of color who want to be sports information directors?
As I stated, I didn't have. I could probably count on one finger how many I had that looked like me when I first started. So, and I started as a student at University of DC. I was finished with cheering, and I was a math major, and I was like, oh, I could do stats for basketball. And Donald Huff, and a lot of he's one of the well-known writers in DC. Matter of fact, Washington Post named an award after him. I went to him as a sports information director, and he was like, you could do this. And it was, so I tell everyone, my career found me. So between Donald Huff, Ed Hill, and Bill Hamilton, they really taught me how to do sports information, along with the infamous Gregory Goins at Bowie State University. Yes. A lot of people don't know basketball. The software for basketball came out in can't remember, 97, I think, 95, 97, something like that. And Greg was one of the testers for it. And he actually taught me how to do